number of deaths being reported associated with the vaccine. Hey, you got a couple hundred a year until 2021, and yikes, 21,725 deaths worldwide. Why? And everybody's saying, "No, this is safe and effective." The vaccine injured were being gaslit; they weren't being treated. They're still being gaslit. There is no. By the way, there is no compassion, Governor. I could fill this room with photos of people who are dead because of the COVID injection. I could fill the room, and that is being denied. That is being denied. It is being denied, and these people haven't been able to get help. I held an event in Milwaukee in June 2019 and 2021, and all the vaccine injured, those women, all they wanted was to be seen and heard and believed, and they are not to this day. Okay? So again, they're not the ones politicizing. They just want to be helped. They want compassionate doctors to treat them, to recognize what caused their illness, not gaslight and not deny that it exists. But anyway, so you take a look at this chart, and they're still denying that this, nothing to see here. This is safe and this is effective. Okay, next chart. This is the current VAERS chart. 38,607 deaths reported worldwide associated with the COVID injection, and we know VAERS dramatically understates by a factor of 10, 100. We know it understates it. 9,228 of those deaths are occurring on the day of vaccination, the 1 or 2 days. Okay, I know VAERS doesn't prove causation, but man, that's a correlation we should have been looking at, but they ignored and they censored. But enough of that. Dr. McCullough, please, in my layman's terms, I just kind of laid out the harmful mechanisms of this injection. Can you and Dr. Vaughn, because I think you've both spoken to this, again, in layman's terms, talk about why this caused so much harm in so many different ways because of the biodistribution. Dr. McCullough.
80% of Americans took a vaccine. 20% didn't. 20% did not take a vaccine. The vaccine was never safe enough for me to take. Messenger RNA devised by Pfizer and Moderna has been chemically modified to be unassailable to enzymes in the body to be broken down. The messenger RNA is found in the human heart of people who die after the vaccine. It's found in the brain. The spike protein is found everywhere in the body. 3 studies now show the spike protein is circulating in the blood for 6 to 9 months after people take the shot. This part of the virus, the lethal part of the virus in the vaccinated, it's circulating in the blood. And then they take a booster, they get more circulating in the blood. It is a killer protein. It cannot be safe. It was not safe by design. Safety trumps efficacy. We cannot tolerate false drug claims. And we saw a poster behind Senator Blumenthal making a false drug claim that vaccines saved millions of lives, specifically the COVID vaccine.
Shalom, this is Kapari, a.k.a. Pops out of GMS Chicago. With a brief sit down. Before I get started, though, like always, I want to send all praises, honor, and glory out to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, and Kakwadash. To the apostles and elders of GMS out of New York, the elder bishops out of Connecticut, want to send double honors because they do rule well. For the brothers around the world, pushing truth uncut, unfiltered, give you the good, the bad, and the ugly of the scriptures, correctly breaking down the prophecies and interaction with people on the planet. I send a hearty shalom. Keep pushing. Anyway, I'm not going to do a misinformation video or anything like that. I'm just going to do now this is a video, this is a live COVID vaccine with a Dr. McCullough shocking Senate statement goes viral. Okay, so now he's speaking out. YouTube has recorded, Money Control has got it. I've seen it a couple different spots as well, and this, that, and the other. So it's a legitimate it's a legitimate video. I'm not saying whether medically is correct or not, or whatever the case might be. What I'm saying is they are having this debate. Now, when we came out and cited these numbers with no cited this with no our channels was taken down. You know, I lost the channel behind it. I lost my GMS Gear Row 1 channel behind this. Okay, behind this COVID thing or whatever, you know, for medical misinformation. Now they having this discussion and this, that, and the other, and the platform says that we're not supposed to be able to do it. But why is this being allowed to go live? Okay, this is a Senate hearing. Okay, why is this being allowed to go live? That's my question. What is the controlling of the narrative that these people are trying to do? That men of the Lord that speak out and just was quoting what was being published at that moment, at those times, and giving a cautionary tale about Esau and the things that he do, and showing you what it is that he does, and we was vilified for it. But here, let's take a look. I'm tuned back into it.
Mr. Chairman, and I think we'll try to certainly stay within our 7 minutes so our colleagues can have their day of questioning.
But again, we'll have second, third, fourth rounds. I mean, this is, we'll use up the time in this hearing room.
You know, the debate here seems to be about the efficacy of COVID-19. But the central issue that brings us here today is the allegation that there was purposeful concealment of knowledge and evidence. And I just want to make the point, I may be sounding a little bit like a lawyer, not a physician, but purposeful concealment, intentional hiding is essentially undocumented by the evidence released by this report itself. In fact, the documents released by the majority today show that public health officials took multiple steps in the spring of 2021 to make healthcare providers aware of those rare reports of myocarditis among vaccine recipients. On May 14th, almost 2 weeks before the CDC decided to issue clinical considerations rather than a HAN on myocarditis, which is, by the way, the primary piece of evidence that the majority cites in this so-called cover-up. The CDC's National Center of Immunization and Respiratory Disease sent an email to state and local health departments around the country entitled, quote, "Monitoring Reports of Myocarditis," end quote. The email noted risks and contained a reminder that providers were obligated to report cases. 5 days later, they sent out a follow-up email urging recipients to let providers in their region know of risks and reminding them once again of the obligation to report cases. I have 2 emails here that are in the majority report. They're available to the public. I ask that they be made a part of the record, Mr. Chairman.
No objection.
I'm not going to read them. They're for everyone to see. One begins with, "I would like to flag a message we sent out late Friday night. I encourage you to forward this important message about vaccine safety and reporting." And it goes on. Warnings. Far from a cover-up, these public health officials were trying to